Welcome to Rulings Comprehension, a new series in which we delve into the more advanced and complicated rulings and mechanics of Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm Angelic Chaos Zero, and I'll start this series off with a completely game-changing update in the TCG, the removal of Ignition Effect Priority. On April 25th, 2012, Konami published a document regarding what more veteran players know as Turn Player Priority. This document implemented new terminology and a visual aid designed to help players better understand player interaction throughout a turn, from chain mechanics to response windows. However, Konami slipped in a huge change. This change being that ignition effects can no longer be activated in response to the summon of a monster. This change is a massive one. It makes previously subpar card choices far stronger, while reining in some of the more overpowered cards. In addition, the term "who goes next" is used in lieu of priority. From what I can tell, these two terms refer to the same mechanic. The effects of this alteration can be seen immediately in practical application. Commonly played cards such as Effect Veiler, Book of Moon, and Torrential Tribute gain further strength, while less used cards such as Bottomless Trap Hole, Raigeki Break, and even Chain Disappearance gain the substantial stopping power necessary to see high-level play. Here are some meta-relevant examples. Prior to this change, it wasn't possible to activate Effect Veiler in response to Rabbit's normal summon, since the turn player would simply retain their priority to activate Rabbit, which banishes it as a cost. Priority would then be passed to you, by which time your Veiler would not have the appropriate target due to the fact that Rabbit is no longer face-up on the field. Now, however, the turn player can no longer respond to Rabbit's normal summon by activating Rabbit's Ignition effect. They would pass priority, giving you the opportunity to activate your Effect Veiler, targeting Rabbit. If the turn player activates the effect of Rescue Rabbit later in the turn, its effect would be negated. This is because Effect Veiler negates the effects that activate or apply on the field. Previously, the turn player could summon Chaos Sorcerer, retain priority, and activate its effect to remove a monster on the board. You could respond with Bottomless, but you would still lose whatever monster Sorcerer targeted for removal. Thanks to the response window changes, the turn player may no longer activate Sorcerer's Ignition effect in response to its summon. Once the turn player passes, you may respond to the summon with Bottomless Trap Hole. This is now a one-for-one exchange, as opposed to the -1 you would incur in the past. The game now makes far more sense on a fundamental level. The idea that a manually activated spell speed 1 effect could take precedence over faster spell speeds never actually made sense. Or, to use the new terminology, a player should not be able to jam an open game state mechanic into a response window. In order to properly understand this, it is important to know exactly what turn player priority is. In a nutshell, priority dictates which players can make an action and when that action can occur. This allows the turn player to make an appropriate action before the opponent, dictated by response windows. The flowchart Konami published, as seen here, illustrates this idea very well. It demonstrates which players can play cards in open and closed game states, respond to both inherent and chain starting actions, and when these responses can occur, which is now referred to as "who goes next." Frankly, this is the same mechanic as priority, just a different aesthetic badge. All certified judges, including myself, received an email in addition to this document from Julia Hedberg, Konami's judge manager. In this email, shown above, we were notified of these new changes to the game mechanics. She confirmed that these changes take effect immediately. The email also included a snippet from Konami's research and development, who requested, quote, "Please stop using the word priority. It has become largely a meaningless term that wasn't being used properly anyway." I found this rather odd, since the document they've just published in tandem with this email explains priority perfectly, but I digress. To recap, Ignition effect priority is no more, which now matches up with the changes in the OCG, made in March of last year. Also, priority as a term is now unofficial. The mechanics behind it, however, are still intact. Understandably, many players may find this all difficult to grasp at first glance. I recommend printing out a copy of Konami's document for use in your matches. Slowly, but surely, you'll find yourself referencing it less and less, until it becomes second nature. A link to this document will be provided in the description below. If you have any further questions on this topic, or have suggestions for future topics for rulings comprehension, drop me a comment. And I hope you enjoy the removal of ignition effect priority as much as I do.